Howdy, howdy. Welcome to another wonderful trash take. So, if y'all haven't seen, the Democratic Party is circling the proverbial drain. They are in the shitter. They're at the all-time low right now. It's like 29% their approval rate based on some statistics CNN had like 2 weeks ago. Trump's approval rate is going up as well. So, Democrats are naturally melting down and not understanding why they failed. And until they continue to acknowledge the reason they failed this election because they went all in on DEI and pronouns and gender identity and a person's identity opposed to the content of their character, they'll keep failing. But it's not why we're here today. I saw a funny video on Twitter of Jesse Waters, which is some Fox News host. I think he replaced Tucker Carlson after he left, and it seems like he's going over Tim Waltz. And Tim Waltz, if you haven't known, has had some glorious meltdowns since the election. He did a campaign he campaigned with Beto O'Rourke in Texas a few nights ago, and in that campaign has some funny ass bangers like saying, "I really wish the shadow government would take over and control free speech," along with saying they need to double down on DEI, which is the main reason they lost this election. That seems to be the one thing that a lot of people are agreeing on, that DEI is going too far. Even on some left-wing extremists, they're starting to come to, or even some moderate people and moderately leaning left are also coming to the same conclusion that DEI and basing everyone off their color of their skin and the way they're born is kind of retarded. Some people still completely disagree and think that it's no such thing as, that they don't view it as racism in any way, shape, or form. I view it as just being openly racist. If you're judging someone by the color of their skin, opposed to the content of their character, I view that as racism. Doesn't matter what race you are. You can't choose how you're born. You can only choose how you act. And there's a lot of people that seem to think that because they're born a certain skin color, they should get special advantages. I don't believe any advantage is fair for anyone else. An advantage for you is a disadvantage for someone else. That's just the way it works. You can't say it's an advantage for some and no one else not get an advantage. That means they're at a disadvantage by default. If you have trouble with that logic, that's on you, not me. Not going to argue in the comments down below. But I want to watch this Jesse Waters interview because Tim Waltz apparently also said some banger stuff that I missed out on. He also had the whole Tesla meltdown where he said, go basically deface your Teslas or you run the risk of them getting demolished, and then making fun of Tesla stock for being down. And now every time Tesla stock's up 5%, people are adding Tim Waltz, making sure that he's okay, making fun of him for that. And then he also did a backtrack on that. He had another like on stage performance where he's like, I gotta be careful for the snowflakes. I can't be making fun of it. Not realizing that people are making fun of him for encouraging vandalism on Tesla right now when people are drawing swastikas, shooting at Teslas, burning down Teslas, and burning down Tesla charging stations. Any way, shape, or form, anyone not basically calling that out right now is showing themselves to be an empathetic retard. It's what happens all the time in politics. When something goes too far, it takes moderate people to rein it back in. And right now what you're seeing is all of the crazies, the extremists, aren't going to rein it back in, and they're going to only hurt themselves and their political career even further. And that's probably how it should be. If you're not willing to have a decent position and being able to listen to both sides of the argument and completely discrediting someone because you disagree with them, you're an extremist. That's generally how extremists work. But I've ranted too much. Let's get to the video.
There's a sinking ship on the Potomac, and Democrats are fighting over who gets the life vests, you or the purple-haired atheist. And your fate has been decided. All the party bigwigs met at a DNC leadership forum last month. Party insiders described it like this, quote, it was a bunch of people politely discussing how many deck chairs on the Titanic should be reserved for transgender people.
And this is what Trump's making fun of them for, is their whole gender identity politics. They can't speak without bringing up gender identity politics. It's completely consumed them. And normal people are starting to wake up and realize this shit's just ridiculous and gone on too far. So the more time they waste on this, the less likely they are to be elected for any political positions at this point.
Democrats are taking on water, and they know not where the lifeboats are. One strategist says, I don't know if we realize how effed we are right now as a brand. The Times says, yes, screw it. Forget
because Democrats are a brand.
There's an iceberg on the left. Go for it. Quote, there is evidence that the process of moderation has the potential to result in unintended adverse consequences. There appears to be very little electoral advantage from running to the center. But changing...
Yeah, just keep being the far left extremist. Don't appeal to the moderates at all. That's a genius idea. That's definitely going to win elections.
The Titanic's captain means nothing if the captain's tampon. He's on the road again. No, not at Tiananmen Square. He saves that trip for the anniversary in June.
Tim Waltz lied about going to the Tiananmen Square, or lied at being at the Tiananmen Square massacre. Just a random lie. He's lied like 3 times on the world stage for no reason. He lied about his service being deployed in an active war zone. He actually got out of the military before he got deployed. He lied about being at Tiananmen Square, and... No, I guess it's just 2, not 3. It's just 2. Those are the 2 main lies I can remember from Waltz.
June. He's in Texas with a list of demands. More DEI Thursdays and less Tom Homan.
Oh, yeah, this is the Beto O'Rourke rally.
That our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is.
Yeah, because we look at what you guys use these words for, and we tell you, hey, this means this. You're holding an orange and calling it an apple and expecting everyone to call it an apple because you want it to be an apple. Just because you remove yourself from reality doesn't mean I have to, buddy.
We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, you damn right we're proud of these policies.
If diversity is
Damn right, brother. The stuff that's causing us to lose elections, we're fucking proud of it. I mean, it's a party of infinite empathy, except if you disagree with them. At that point, you become the enemy, you become the target. They have infinite empathy for everyone that isn't their enemies. And it's kind of wild how you want to come off as a completely empathetic being while ignoring the empathy of your peers. Like, that's just weird. It's ass backwards. It's fake empathy. It's virtue signaling.
strength, that's a pretty weak audience. But Tampon didn't travel alone. He's got a new wingman.
I used to call him Tampon Tim. He did put tampons in the boys' bathrooms, yeah.
While you're twiddling your thumbs and playing nice and trying to be bipartisan, they are killing your country and taking away democracy.
Yeah, guys, they're killing your country. Not us allowing unlimited illegal immigrants into the country that are bringing fentanyl that's caused people to overdose and allowing illegal immigrants to rape and murder our populace that then flee and get released from jail for it. Yeah, it's the Republicans killing the country, not us absolutely destroying the basic societal fabric that holds us all together and dividing us even further, guys. Come on.
So we are either going to fight or we are going to surrender, and I plan on fighting.
Beto's going to fight? Plans on fighting? Why isn't he fighting now? And what does fight even mean?
He's fighting with the Waltz.
And what kind of name is Beto? Then Timmy had an epiphany.
What kind of name is Beto? That's his name.
Old white men have got to go.
And to all the young people who are here, I just pause for a moment and look around.
Young people, I'm seeing a lot of old white Karens in the crowd. There might be like a few young heads here, but there's a whole lot of old white Karens and a whole lot of old white people. There's a few African Americans. I don't see any. Maybe that guy's Asian or Latino. Latina. I genuinely can't tell. That guy's Asian though. Like, he's pulling diversity card. Diversity ain't coming for him though.
and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a
I'm talking about the old white guys.
Regular basis in this country.
Tampon's an old white guy who disappoints. Why doesn't he step aside? Why doesn't that whole audience step aside?
Yeah, that's the whole me making fun of the DNC. The DNC held their meeting and they elected 2 white people as chair and vice chair. So the DNC that spent the entire time talking about how diversity matters elected 2 white guys, 2 straight white guys, in positions of power. But diversity matters.
And old black guys disappoint too. Remember Barack? Gus gets it.
Got an 18-year-old Gus, and I'm with Gus out there, and I'm having one of those dad talks with him. I was giving Gus my wisdom on what he had done wrong. You know, I was being, because I know these things, right? I'm the dad. In the middle of it, he gives me the old, says the guy who got his ass kicked by Donald Trump. And I'm like, okay.
His fucking son's based as hell. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
And while Walz may not be VP, he's adopted some new pronouns. ED. Election denier.
They've released analyses of election data out of Clark County, Nevada, that show some pretty convincing evidence of election tampering.
This is that's a perfect pause. This is a very slippery slope. If you don't remember the last election where Trump lost against Biden, they were saying people need to be completely canceled and censored on social media for any form of election denials. Though we had a documentary of 100 Mules that had a pretty damning argument to show, hey, they literally set up ballot drop boxes with no real way to guard it and laws against bringing multiple ballots, but there was no way to enforce it. It's a trust us system. And even CNN, while reporting on it, had some lady walk up with 5 different ballots and shove them in there. This shit was fucking hilarious. But you say there's election fraud? You're crazy. But every time someone loses, they all say the same thing. That's why I want secure elections. I want voter ID required to vote. I don't care what fucking type of election it is. Democrats require voter ID to go to any of their functions in California, but then they pass laws to make it illegal for them to ask for your ID before you vote. The only reason you do that is to encourage illegal voting. You're implicitly trying to allow the system to be stacked in your favor. And it's obvious for anyone with an IQ. People will say it's to stop racism, it's to make it more accessible. We're in the modern fucking age. If you can't get a driver's license, that's a basic filter. That's a you issue.
What can we do to make sure, A, that the midterms actually happen, and B, that they're free of fraud?
Please, for the love of God, say that we need voter ID laws. By God, please fucking say it. If Democrats 180 flip on this, I'm going to lose my shit, because you used to be called so racist. A racist, transphobic. You should get called every slur in the book if you suggested, heaven forbid, we have secure fucking elections in America.
We see one of the first things they do is try and restrict the vote. This is one of the things, though, that this is going to take power to the streets. And look, I don't know what the answer is on this, but I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government.
Tampon just said the election was rigged, storm the streets, and form a shadow government.
Yeah, he did. While I was going back and editing this, I realized Fox News kind of cut off that clip of Tim Waltz talking about the shadow government. They cut it off a little too quick, so I wanted to add more context by playing a bit of a longer version of it, just so y'all can see what else he said during that same segment.
We see one of the first things they do is try and restrict the vote. This is one of the things, though, that this is going to take power to the streets. And look, I don't know what the answer is on this, but I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government, so when all these things come up every single day, we've got an alternate press conference telling the truth about what things are happening. You know what's going on.
Yeah, so adding more context, in my opinion, makes this worse, and I don't know why Fox cut it as early as they did. Saying that you need a shadow government to tell an alternative truth to the press conference is kind of weird, considering they literally tried to make a ministry of truth in America and it got shut down. Because Democrats got caught with their hand in the cookie jar in the last election. Look at all the times of Elon in the Twitter files said the Democrats would put forward, hey, ban this person, shadow ban this person, block this word, just to help the algorithm, to help them when they got elected and help them with COVID. Even though direct information that was factually true from doctors was being posted on Twitter, they would get censored because it wasn't fitting the narrative and because the people at Twitter themselves had their hands on the wheel or had their hands on the scale. They were the shadow government. The shadow government was the Democrats in power operating, demanding that a narrative that they don't like be shut down. That's against freedom of speech, which is why Elon went with Republicans. It was pretty damn clear. He took over, he took control, he saw what was happening, and they were dumb enough to give him Twitter. But yeah, Tim Waltz is absolutely fumbling this. I don't know what he thought he was doing here, but this was not the play. This was not the play at all. This should be fearful to a lot of people because shadow governments is the kind of shit that Alex Jones says runs the world, that control the narrative no matter who's actually elected, which a lot of people in America was saying was already happening here. And now you have Donald Trump and Elon Musk going through the Doge Department, finding complete government agencies that are ignoring executive orders and continuing the status quo. That is the shadow government. That is what they mean. Government operatives that work in the interest of whatever they feel like, which is the Democratic Party normally, opposed to what the leadership currently says. I see that as a shadow government. And that's what Trump's going out there and cutting. And that's why judges are saying, hey, reverse the role, rehire the people, don't keep firing. That's why they're trying to limit it because it literally seems like they're cutting fraud. They're cutting the shadow government. I don't really know how to look at this any other way. But saying that you support a shadow government, that's just completely fucking schizophrenic. And they don't see why they have a 29% approval rating.
And the media doesn't even care because it's just tampon being tampon. Well, Timmy Walls says MAGA.
This was the craziest VP pick for Kamala because she managed to pick someone who was actually more incompetent than her, which she's a DA, so I never understood why she would want to become a politician. She might be a good DA. I've seen some funny shit about her being a bad DA. Tulsi Gabbard ripped her apart in the 2020 primaries when they were trying to go against Trump. Tulsi Gabbard fucking destroyed her, making fun of her for the fact that she put people in jail for marijuana and then is casually laughing about it on stage. She's ruined people's life for this. Oh, it's her job to enforce the laws. Well, then why does she always make fun of people who go to jail for it? There's no real empathy from these people. Then why did she try to go for politicians? Because she's clearly not an orator. She's not a speaker. She's not articulate. When she opens her mouth, it's a word salad every fucking time. Go look at this 60 Minutes interview where they deceptively edited the interview to make her seem infinitely more competent. Go look at the stage during the primary debates between Trump and Kamala. Kamala lied multiple times on the debate stage and didn't have a single person fact checker. Trump said multiple things that were true and got fact checked as if it was false. And then they had to issue retractions and apologies to the president, to Trump, because they were wrong. Don't get me wrong. Some of the things Trump says was just blatantly wrong. Like they're eating cats and the Haitians are eating cats in Ohio. There was only one real video of a woman eating a cat, and that was actually just an African American. It wasn't even a Haitian. It was just a regular citizen gone fucking psycho. And there were people saying that the cats are disappearing, but it's all anecdotal evidence. There was no real solid evidence of anyone being arrested for it. There's evidence of people stealing like geese from the parks, but that shit's kind of just crazy. Like that might be a cultural difference. I don't fucking know. I don't really care. The whole fact check on their stealing cats is the only one I believe that Trump actually said that was just wrong. Now, he said it because people were coming forward to town halls and bringing it up to the mayor saying, hey, these people are eating our cats. But that was more of them just saying it. There weren't any police reports. It wasn't proven correct is what I'm saying. Democrats are actually sinking the drain with their party. It's very split down the middle. Some of them are coming back to the more moderate side. Tulsi and RFK were the first examples, I'd say, of that, of them leaving the Democrat Party to help run with Trump or to help promote Trump in his campaign, because they kind of realized that what's happening here is a party split, and I think the Democrats are going to split. I think there's going to be a more moderate group that emerges from them, and you're going to have the radical extremists still, and Tim Waltz is falling on the radical extremist side. Governor Gavin Newsom, he seems to be one of the more moderate ones. He's kind of backtracked on some of his things like Latinx and then women don't belong in men's sports. He completely agrees that there's a biological advantage to men, which is true. Boys that go through puberty have a biological advantage against women. That's just statistically true. There's some crazy shit to back this up. And to say that it's not happening is just asinine. To say you respect women and women's rights, but then you walk all over women in sports is kind of ass backwards. You can't have it both ways. I just want some common sense to come back in America. And I don't think that's happening right now with the Democratic Party. I think they're circling the drain faster and faster, which means you're going to have more Republicans just start doing strong arm. You're going to have more retarded Republicans getting positions of power that shouldn't be, because they're not being contested by people who have actual viable ideas. But yeah, I saw Tim Waltz was being a retard, and I thought, you know what? That's my favorite retard that's my favorite retard right now. So I want to do a video on Tim Waltz. And Tim Waltz had some banger clips. He believes in the shadow government. He believes in denying elections, and he believes that DEI should be doubled down on for the Democrats. Let's see if they hold the same values, and let's see if he starts winning some elections because of it, you know? He could be right. Maybe 5 years down the line, everyone that says DEI is bad is executed on the spot, put in re-education camps because the Democrats won, you know? Could happen. 100% could happen. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Statistically, not likely. But that's all I have time for today. I just want to play this, see what I thought about it, do some more reactions. There's a lot of funniness going on in politics. I'm kind of like in and out of politics at the moment, looking more at other stuff in my life and looking more at... I'm kind of in and out of politics. Don't really know what I want to do videos on. Most of it seems like the same thing every day. You have Trump talking about taking over Greenland, talking about taking over Canada. I'm just like, there's no fucking way. And then Trump's like, yeah, there's fucking ways. We're doing this. So I think there's some really retarded shit going on from Republicans too. I don't want fucking Canada. Maybe Greenland if they actually are viable to helping the economy in some way, shape, or form. But I genuinely don't know, besides them being a major transport route, what else they'd have to offer. Canada, on the other hand, I don't want fucking Canada. Fuck that. That place cold as shit. Maybe nice vacations, but that's about it. That's all I have time for today. Thank you very much. If you have a wonderful time, like the video, comment down below, or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, later.